what's going to happen if we give kids attorneys? Well, what's going to happen, they say, is that courts are going to grind to an absolute halt. That is the fear, that courts will completely stop because kids' lawyers are going to be throwing every single motion at the court, and they will grind this to a halt. It's been answered. This is actually contrary to the evidence we have. We have the Palm Beach County study, which indicates that the cases tend to be shortened when attorneys for kids are appointed. We have other cases, we have other examples of early intervention by attorneys for children that cases are, even in the beginning, in the 72-hour hearing, that kids are going home more frequently. This just is completely contrary to the evidence, but unfortunately the phenomena of children of the corn is taking over. The second idea that, I'm just gonna keep doing that because until I can say everybody's saying it. Kids will request piercings, and they will wanna go to the family with the pony and the pool. How many of you, I know one of you, has had a client who lived in a foster home with a pony and a pool? Raise your hand. Yeah, three. So I have two. A client who lived in a foster home who had a horse and a pool. And what did that client want? That client wanted to go home to her parent. That is just contrary to the evidence that all of a sudden you give kids something, and that will replace the love that they have for their families, and they'll make irrational decisions. I won't talk about piercings, but I think courts have forgotten that lawyers don't have to make every motion that our client asks us to make. If they ask for, soda in the drinking fountain, we actually don't have to go into court and ask for that. The families will be torn asunder. Well, I think I just gave an example of that's not the case when we have good representation of children that's guided by standards. We had in Washington State, there's a circuit called the Hell's Canyon Circuit. It's comprised of the 3 southeast counties of Washington State, and most of which is stuck in kind of the late 19th century. It is exactly like it sounds like. It's kind of cowboy town. And the judge who rode the circuit, his name was Bill Acey. And I mean, literally, it sounds like something out of Westworld. All these, I'm really with it. All these references. I watch HBO. And anyway, Judge Acey got it in his mind that every kid in Hell's County Circuit in those 3 counties should have an attorney. I think it was about 140 kids. So they were being represented from the get-go until their case reached its final result. Well, he had the highest reunification rate in the state, and he was meeting all of the timeliness standards of the court. That, unfortunately, that practice went away when the county councils got together and decided it was costing way too much money, and again, were overtaken by one of those phenomena. Lawyers won't know what to do. We hear this all the time. What's a lawyer gonna do? They're not gonna know what to do. We have 5 model acts and 5 standards, a red book. We have tons of guidance about what lawyers are supposed to do. But no matter how many times we say this to a court, they just don't seem to get it, that actually lawyers do a lot for children in dependencies. They're guided by a lot of structure. It is amazing that still gets asked. We even have, as mentioned earlier by Frank Ertoni, the QIC study, this national study, which, if I could boil it down to one sentence, rested upon the theory that better lawyering produces better outcomes. That was the idea. Answer: true. Better lawyering produces better outcomes. Well, another one: it will cost goo gobs of money to do this. Again, the evidence is in, and it indicates that it's likely to the contrary. Yes, lawyers have to be paid most times, but in fact, their good lawyering produces better outcomes, shortens cases, saves money. That is where the evidence is heading, and we now have good evidence about that from Palm Beach County and others. This really is the opposite of true, or as I like to call it, untrue. And finally, lawyers, I'm channeling one of our great leaders and coming up with new words like untrue. Lawyers will be wasted on little kids. courts are so stuck on this that, oh yeah, we get what a lawyer might do for an adolescent who can talk about what they want and make some rational decisions. But what are they going to do for a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old? They're not going to be able to do anything. And again, to this, I think the evidence is in Palm Beach County. That was representation of younger kids, and the outcomes were quite good. That good lawyering for younger kids who have rights actually results in good outcomes.